Real quick before you watch this video, if you're not getting notified when I upload videos, it's probably because you haven't clicked the bell symbol next to the subscribe button down there. Also, if you haven't received an email from me with discount codes and secret giveaways, it's also probably because you haven't clicked this link and signed up for my email list. You might want to do that now. Enjoy the video.
It's very hard to try to explain to someone what it feels like to be black in a white world.
What have I been living through? Nothing but a lot of work and less pay.
At first I was looking for a job with a skill, but then I couldn't find that, so I started looking for common labor and still can't find nothing.
The things that happen to you daily and that affect you and that are so much a part of you are very hard sometimes to even remember because they come so routine.
I guess when you walk out, they throw their applications in the trash basket.
We talk, but we can't be heard. We scream, but we can't be heard. It just seems like people don't understand.
Respect and dignity is all I'm fighting for the black man himself.
The Negroes are stepping up, they're waking up, and they're gonna do something about what the white man did to them.
We'll start fighting for our rights, what we want.
I'm not afraid of bloodshed. If I have to die for my rights, I will.
How can I explain something that another man may do? I'm only human. I can only see myself, and I can see that much of myself because I am only human, and no one knows the man's mind. I don't even know my own mind. I don't know what limits are set on me. You don't either.
You're going to create a black monster down here, and this black monster is going to get larger and larger, and pretty soon he's going to eat all of us up.
What you want to me? What have I got to lose? We're a catastrophe. Both of us black and blue. I gave you everything. You took me to the moon. You were the strength I needed. Why'd it end so soon? Take it day to day. I'm trying to block the memories in my they say pain, it comes in waves so diving. They would lie. There's no denying.
My friends, they ask me something.
This is the famous Grape Street, fellas.
I grew up right in this area right here. You know, this was my home where I figured I would be staying all my life. At one time, I never wanted to go anywhere else. I felt that this was paradise.
Watts was just a nice place. It really was. Growing up when I was young, life was good.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah. I was in Girl Scouts, ran track for elementary, junior high. It was good. I mean, straight A student till I guess probably like the end of the 9th grade, you know. After that, gang.
Growing up in South Central LA, being a native of 71st Street, the infamous 71st, Florence and Normandy, I was born in '68. By '71, I was already deep in it. Damn!
Growing up in the Jordan housing projects, you witness things that no child should ever be subject to.
My older brothers, my older cousins, my older associates, from Kiki Watson to everybody, Sam, we was already deep in it. But growing up around here, man, my brother done seen a lot, done been a lot. I thank God to be standing here on this ground right now.
I lost many friends and family, you know, to the war that existed in the neighborhood. But if you can believe, between 1983 and 2003, there were over 30,000 gang-related deaths in LA County, and it didn't include those who were permanently maimed or incarcerated for the rest of their life.
There's a group of people that society believes need to be thrown away, and I was one of them.
I had a good childhood, you know what I'm saying? I had my mother and father in my home, so I had love and all that good shit, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I made the decisions that I made on my own, not because of where I came from.
Growing up, my mother had 2 jobs with 3 boys, So she pretty much raised herself while she was gone, and led me to going to jail, juvenile hall, also going to prison. So for me, it was about 9 years old when I was introduced to the advancement of the Crips. And at that time, I didn't understand it, but by the age of 13, that's when I decided I'm gonna fight back against them.
So from just a mentality standpoint, what do you think it was that made you attracted or drawn to become a part of the gang?
Well, I wasn't attracted to it. It was either you gangbang or get beat up. If you live in a neighborhood, whether you gangbang or not, you still from that neighborhood. So it's darn if I do, I'm darn if I don't.
Gangbang is a gang of black brothers trying to make it.
So like if you need some help or something, they're the ones who come right there and help you.
Around here, people take care of each other. Gangbanging ain't gonna end, man. You can't end gangbanging, man.
South Los Angeles, everything was already sectioned off.
I wondered whether the sexual, physical, and psychological abuse that I experienced growing up contributed to, the violence that I witnessed and participated in as a kid growing up in the neighborhood.
If my parents said don't, we wanted to do. You know how they said, you think the grass is green on the other side, but you don't know that the water bill is higher.
And I'm gonna put it on fathers more than anything else. Mom did a heck of a job, and some of the dads just didn't do a good job.
I believe that I should have been looking at my father, but my father isn't in the home. So I open up the door and I see guys got their shirt off, got a gold chain, got a Cadillac. So these are the guys I want to be like.
Yeah.
The guy who has all his school books, well, he's a victim.
You know, when that record came out, Rappers Delight, and the guy tell his daddy, he said, "Daddy, I don't want to go to school. You know, the teacher's a jerk. They all think I'm a fool." That's the way I felt.
Imagine being at home and being told you ain't shit. Then imagine going outside, and like I said, I'm not very athletic. So then I'm seeing somebody who could do things I can't do. And I think to myself, well, I ain't shit. And then I get to school, and there are people who could learn faster in a different way than I could. And now in my mind, I'm believing I ain't shit.
I was illiterate.
Okay, gotcha.
I was totally illiterate. I probably could only read maybe 3 or 4 words before I got to prison, yeah.
I have to put a mask on, I have to say I don't care, I have to hit the streets and pretend to be somebody else.
You guys already think I'm crazy, so I gotta act crazy.
You trying to live up to what people expected from you.
Had to live up to it, man. Come with the territory.
If I don't love myself, the very person I'm gonna hurt is somebody in the other community who looks just like me.
Yeah.
So if I'm driving around wanna hurt myself, I'm looking at this dude and I'm thinking, oh, he ain't shit.
Yeah.
I'm about to get him.
Yeah.
And how do I know he ain't shit? Because he looked like me and I know I ain't shit.
It was only when I went to prison that I discovered that knowing how to read opened up not only doors, but your mind. It could give you exposure that you couldn't get in South Central LA.
I think crack cocaine made everything change.
We were really poor growing up. You know, I'd never heard of heroin, cocaine. I don't even think I'd ever heard of weed at that time.
I mean, just like me, you know, my father, even though he wasn't around, but I wanted to be that super fly dude, Cadillacs, bunch of women, all that. That's what I wanted, that's what I seen, that's what I grew up around.
When I first started selling drugs, I didn't really know nothing about cocaine. Okay. I saw the movie Superfly.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that character, but I also identified his power with cocaine. So when the opportunity came and presented itself, I jumped on it.
Making the money, moving the products, changed the simple gangbanging to not only gangbanging, but now I'm protecting my product, I'm protecting the houses where we're selling it. It just kind of got to be kind of a free fall, and it was really a saddening time for me because I saw people who were very vibrant people go down the drain or go down into a sickening kind of area.
Cocaine. That's what he lives for, cocaine. Never does he ever get any sleep. Just walk day in and day out. I bet you that guy at one time was a handsome-looking guy, had his stuff together, but now look at him. Gone. Totally wiped out behind cocaine.
There was always going to be some fist fighting, but guns became major deals. And now they had the money to buy the best sophisticated weapons out there.
Yeah. Was there a point where you looked at yourself and you said, damn, I'm who I wanted to be when I used to watch the Superfly movie.
Absolutely. But that was, I thought that when I had 20,000.
Gotcha.
See, we talking about a person that never had $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, who didn't know how he could get $1,000. So when I had 20,000, it was like, wow, what am I gonna do with it?
What do you do with all the money, though?
Stash it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
You don't go back and make some more. Keep on stashing it till I come up. No big time.
And that was big time.
Thousands. That's big time.
Look, how does it stop?
It ain't gonna stop. It's gonna keep on rolling. I don't know.
Tell him you ain't.
Till I'm dead, I guess.
The money that came from the drug sales allowed everything to just escalate. Absolutely. Cars, drugs, and the weapons, weaponry. And everybody could have a gun now. Everybody, you know. So
where were they getting them from?
You could get the cartel,
gotcha.
the gun stores,
gotcha.
and just go get them. Yeah. And you had to have guns in order to function, otherwise you would get shot down. Right.
Gotcha.
If you're going to deal with drugs in any kind of way, you had to have some trigger people, otherwise you wouldn't survive.
Only the strong survive.
It's sad for everybody. Not only sad for the person get killed, but for the person that get life behind killing somebody, you know.
Was there ever a time during that period where you kind of reflected on the effects of the drugs on the community?
Oh, absolutely. Almost 5 years after I got started, 4 years after I got started, I started to see addiction. I would tell people, don't sell to my girlfriend. You know, I would tell my brothers, don't be getting high.
It was really a sad period of time, even though there were a lot of people with a lot of money, and it wasn't, to me, it was not a good time.
You can't poison everybody else's mother, but then you don't want nobody to poison yours.
There was a lot, happening. The city was literally a powder keg. It's the same thing that it's always been in this country. It's racism. It's systemic racism. And it's redlining in communities that prevented investment from coming in.
Let me go back to like 5 or 6 years old when my grandmother was cleaning houses in an area called the Blair Hills. She would hold me tight and she took me with her. And she would tell me, these white folks don't want us over here. And that you get your job done and you get back to your part of town. So I could feel that.
When we were younger, we had the Compton police, who I think was better now because the Compton PD, and most of them grew up here, they were from here, as opposed to the sheriffs. I don't think they care that much.
Do you think, to some degree, that some of the outward expressions of violence that you were seeing by some of these kids was an indirect response to some of the racial dynamics that were going on at the time?
Absolutely. Listen, nobody wants to get pulled over just because. I mean, you said, look like a good stop, let's shake them up, let's do that. And have I stopped people like that? Maybe just because if I thought this was something, I made it stop. But you still have to treat people shitty.
Yeah.
My first interaction with law enforcement, I believe I was 5 years old, and they came to my grandmother's house looking for my uncle. So this is my favorite uncle. He's always giving us ice cream and quarters, and I just saw the way that my family were dealing with the police. They're coming in as an occupying force.
I need help 107 Wilmington. Officer needs help 107 Wilmington. Shots fired.
107.
You have these communities of people, and on a national level, they're being labeled as a whole monsters. And I'm sorry, there's nothing you're gonna tell me that's gonna get me to believe that entire communities of people are monsters. It's just not how it works. People aren't just born monsters. Monsters, by and large, are created. And they're created by circumstance. They're created by condition. So if we really truly believe the words that come out of our mouths when we say we want to improve our country as a whole, not just pockets, not just elements of our country, but improve it as a whole, then we have to acknowledge the circumstances that people grow up in that create said types of monsters within specific communities. Unless you just don't really truly care about improving America as a whole, and you're just worried about improving your area and your spot in America. Which if that's the case, that's fine. Then just stop talking about improving America as a whole. But if we truly want to improve America as a whole, and we want to have that conversation, we've got to start acknowledging those circumstances and those conditions. No longer can we stand on the backs of lift yourselves up by the bootstraps. The vast majority of people who are doing well for themselves and are well-functioning members of society and contribute to society, if you were to have them be born and raised and grow up in the conditions and the circumstances that you see in places like South Central, if you really honestly think that you would grow up to be the same person that you are now, you're fooling yourself. Yo, real quick before you go, just want to let you know that for the remainder of 2019, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of awesome products, and I'm going to be doing this every single month. So if you want to learn more about how to sign up so you can potentially win some awesome products, hit the link in the description section and learn. All right, folks, holla. What's going on, folks? This is Colion Noir. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button that should be located on the bottom left portion of the screen. I mean, come on, who you fooling? I know you want to.